Hello, hello. I am back. Hello, hello. I am making my Korean meatballs again. If you were here on Saturday for my show, then you probably already saw me make these. But this time around, I have a more solid recipe. And I'm not just running around just throwing everything I own into these meatballs. Though, as I'm writing this recipe and I'm trying to see if I can cut out some of the ingredients, I don't feel like I can. So still plenty of ingredients, but the recipe is already posted on Food Talk TV right now if you want to go take a look at that. And then also I will be making a cucumber salad to go with that, and that's not something I've made on the show yet. All right, there we go. That took a minute just because I did freeze it all together, and metal acts differently together when it's cold as opposed to warm because the expansion there, but we got it all together. All of this stuff has been frozen. My meat, this is pork butt that I have. I trimmed off a lot of the fat on there. I guess I kind of left it 80-20. I didn't do anything to measure the fat content myself. I just kind of, eyeballed it, which kind of made me think, I wonder, we're really in the, I could have gotten an app or something and taken a photo of it and seen what percentage of it was the red and what percentage of it was the white, but I just guesstimated it's 80-20. This is some of a pork butt that I had chopped up and I had put into separate vacuum sealers for separate meals. Because sometimes I will smoke an entire pork butt and then sometimes I don't need that entire thing. So this is a really good use of if you get pork on sale and you can just trim it up into meatballs. You can also do this with pork loin. Any pork will work, but you are going to want some sort of fat content. If pork loin was all you had, I would go ahead and add another fatty thing, maybe even some bacon or something. But we do need some sort of fat content in here so they're not just completely dry and terrible. So everything is cold. And as I'm grinding the meat in here, this is a bowl. In here is a bunch of ice. And so this is staying cold as we're grinding this meat. And we have to keep it as cold as we possibly can. The reason for that is, think about it, fat. Butter is a fat. Butter is a completely different texture at a different temperature. So if this meat were to be warmed up or it just wouldn't have any of the cold interference that I'm adding to it, then the fat would melt. And then that would become part of the meat and that would become part of the grind. And then the texture would be terrible. But all right. Let's get it going. Oh, I have a stick thingy too to push down. Let me go grab that. Now, I've never owned any sort of other meat grinding thing. I've never owned any other, yeah, I have ground meat in a food processor before, just a standard food processor and not an actual meat grinder. But this is the only meat grinder situation I've ever owned. So I can't tell you whether it works better compared to other models. But based on what I'm reading online, people will say that this is really good for home cooks, for people who don't, grind meat on the daily, like exactly I am. Oh, yeah. Good for the home cook. I imagine you would want something larger and something more industrial if you were grinding meat all the time. But yes, this meat was in the freezer about 40 minutes before I started this. Oh, yeah. That is the second time I have walked over to the trash can, and I specifically got myself a bowl to have over here in my station so I wouldn't have to do that. You know what I really want? I really want a bus tub. Professionally, I've always been a bartender, always front of house. So, as I'm bussing dishes from my bar top, there's always a bus tub, a big old bus tub underneath the bar that we would just shove our dirty dishes. And I feel like I need a home version of that. Yes. If you are grinding your own meat for meatballs, and like, let's say you're doing some meal prep or something with this, if you're freezing these raw, I wouldn't add anything else to the meat, right? Because any sort of salt or any of the flavorings that I'm going to be adding in here, that will over tenderize the meat. And as it sits in your freezer, then it won't, as it sits in your freezer, then it'll just degrade and it just won't be a very good meatball. And then, however, I'm also not really a huge fan of putting fully cooked meatballs in the freezer just because they always turn out pretty dry. And like, meatballs are glorious and should never be dry. So if I was going to do these for some sort of meal prep, I wouldn't cook them all the way through. I would do like a good sear on them, and then I would freeze them, but I wouldn't focus on making sure they were cooked all the way through. And so that way I could finish up the cook once they're out of the freezer and they won't be dry. As long as you properly label it like, hey, like this is, you know, par cooked. Hello. I have so many people. If you are just scrolling through here, welcome to Food Talk TV. We do a live cooking show every single day. Oftentimes it's 2 times a day. My name's Taylor Rose, also known as the Mustard Queen. My show is called Cutting the Mustard, and I do a show every Thursday at 7 Central. Oh, yeah. So with the KitchenAid mixer here, it did come with 2 different grind plates, and they weren't like a huge difference. Like that one's the thin one. The other one was only slightly larger. I know with other grinders, you can get like a huge difference with that. If your meat is really fatty, you're not going to want to grind twice. And that's because the whole, you know, changing the temperature of the fat in there will completely ruin the ground meat, right? If we melt the fat that's in here and then it becomes ground in with the meat, it's over. It's done. So as long as we keep everything cold, and yes, my meat's still feeling really cold. Oh, yes. I guess I'll just start feeding it through just one more time, and then we will get started making balls. How's everyone doing today? Tell me what you're having for dinner so I can have ideas for later in the week. Because y'all, dude, seriously, I cook so much. I am obsessed with writing recipes. I write so, and whenever I'm learning a new food, I just research the hell out of it. I love recipes and learning more about a recipe, but when it comes time to actually feed myself, I am the absolute worst at it. So tell me what you're having for dinner so I can maybe write that into my meal plan. Oh, would you make me one too? Yeah. Yay. Oh, yeah. Go. Oh, Kaz is here. Hello there. And I did make this exact same recipe, not this exact same, pretty much similar recipe. I made it on Saturday when I had the idea, but I really wanted to polish it more into a recipe tonight and like get my situation figured out. But I have a cucumber salad I'll be doing as well. Modern day Alton Brown, I like that. Shoving the meat on in. Yeah. If you're not doing anything with your hands, if you're not busy like grinding meat like I am, could you please tap the screen? It really helps. Also, I like attention. Thank you. Oh, my husband came over and like started tapping the screen. It's like, that's not how that works. Ah, there we go. That's what was it. There we go. That's why the stick thingy is in here, to push it through. I was wondering why it wasn't. Anytime I'm grinding meat like this, I'm always thinking about the Pink Floyd music video. Oh, another thing I think of when I'm using the meat grinder is the Grey's Anatomy episode. Anyone watch Grey's Anatomy? Anyone? Oh, you know what? Ryan, I just realized this. Nobody that ever watches my shows is a Grey's Anatomy fan. Because right now, this is when the new episode of Grey's Anatomy is airing. So if you were a true fan, you wouldn't be watching my show, but that's funny. Oh, or maybe the people that are Grey's Anatomy fans just haven't been caught up. No spoilers here, guys. This is a spoiler-free zone. Oh, yeah. So this season, they have a new showrunner. So they are working with a new girl, and she said in interviews that she's kind of doing a reset this season. So it kind of feels kind of slow, kind of like meh. But she's doing a reset, and I'm actually like really excited because the girl that was the showrunner that was before her was the one who decided it was a good idea for, you know, April and Arizona Robbins to no longer be on Grey's Anatomy. So, okay, I still feel like there's more. Okay, if I do a high. Okay. Oh, thank you. All right. It was just that last little oomph that needed to be oomphed out. Now remember, we are being very nitpicky about keeping this cold, cold, cold. So I'm going to let this continue to chill on the ice and stuff before mixing the other stuff in there. I'm going to just move this over away. But I understand that grinding your own meat for meatballs isn't something you can do for a regular weeknight meatball. But if you have the time for it, it's worth it. It's so good. Ugh. All right. Yeah, I feel like when you grind the meat yourself, there's like less of a, there's less of a over mixing. You're less likely to over mix your meat if you grind it yourself because, yeah. All right. Well, actually, when you start chopping up meat and mixing meat and mixing it, there's an enzyme that is released. And as that enzyme is released and is getting worked, that's what makes your ground meat gluey and just sticky and wrong when you overmix it. So it's another great reason why grinding your own meat. And plus, you know, you can throw in whatever you wanted. Like if that was a leaner cut, I would have thrown in some bacon. I've done that before where I throw in some bacon. So we're going to give this a break because I want to focus on the salad now. Thank you for the rose and the chili. Hello, Linda. Hello there. How are you? Thank you for the chilies. Yes. So I'm doing the Korean meatballs, except this is the refined recipe, even though my refined recipe still has about 25 ingredients. But we're also going to do a cucumber salad. I'll go ahead and kind of start that real quick. My husband and I sing this song with the cat because, like, he's stomping on the people. Yeah, I know, we're dorks. Okay, there we go. All right, I want y'all to see what I'm up to. It's okay. Oh, you'll see what I'm up to. because we're kind of doing the spirally cucumber salad. And I love these salads. This is something that's common with Asian cucumber salads. We're going to get chopsticks that we don't really care about. You can see I have burn marks on mine. All right. So we're just going to kind of like keep it, use this to keep it here. And, oh, I'm going to grab a fork real quick. So this is going to be a really simple salad that I make with the cucumber. That's going to be soy sauce, rice vinegar, some other things that are on my Asian ingredient shelf. And so part of this, though, is just getting the cucumbers to like soak up the dressing. So we're going to chop it up in the cool way to like make it go the spiral, right? But first, I'm going to kind of like scratch. I'm going to make it, if you want to get fancy with your knife work, you can just like cut little, you could even with your knife, and this is an optional step. This is not for everyone. You could even just like use your knife and slice all the way down. But the reason why we're doing this, it's because we're giving the edges of the cucumbers some texture. So as they're sitting in the dressing, they're actually going to absorb more of that. Ooh, I might have cut that a bit deep for that, but it's okay. We'll see. It's still going to taste good. It just depends on whether it will be spiral. So we'll give it a shot. This is my... Oh yeah, and as this sits in the dressing, it's just gonna like get into all those like corners and stuff and will be amazing. And this is one of those salads that you can absolutely just like serve immediately, but it really does get better as it sits in the dressing. There's a tool for that, for specifically for this. I was about to say there's a tool for everything, but I'm cool with my knife and fork situation. But okay, so here we have them. And we're first going to go on one side, and we're going to go at a 45-degree angle here. Just all down here. And then we are going to turn the cucumber upside down. And then we're going to go horizontal. Trying to show y'all what I'm doing, but also I need to make sure I'm making my cuts correctly. Okay, that kind of turned on me, but oh yeah, it's okay. It'll still be delicious, but that's how we get to the like, whew. Let's do another one that I don't do too deep of cuts on. A cucumber scraper does sound like a weird tool. Oh yes, we do have lives every single day, oftentimes multiple times a day. We do live cooking content. We've been doing live cooking content every single day for 2 years now. I am hitting on my 1-year mark of doing Thursdays. But yep, Thursdays at 7, but I pick up shows other times too. If you want to find me, my handle on here is Happy Mustarding, but you could probably just search Mustard Queen into the search bar here and you'll find me. Isn't that fun? That's so fun. I think I'm going to go back to the fork scraping one. I'm cutting too deep on mine. My cucumbers are a lot smaller. This will be husband's snack. I was getting too cocky there. I thought I was going to be able to spiralize that a little more. Hey there. Here, this is going to be the perfect one. This is going to be the one that shows up in the photos, okay? Because this recipe will be up on Food Talk TV. I already have it already. I just need to post a picture on there, but I already do have my recipe posted on Food Talk TV for the Korean meatballs I'm making. And all I did was grind the meat for that one so far. I just want to get my cucumbers going because we're going to salt the cucumbers first because cucumbers are very, very watery. And so we're going to just salt them and let them sit so that way we get rid of some of that water. So the dressing actually adheres to the cabbage or to the cucumber. Oh yeah, see, I was trying to be safer and there we go. And the cucumbers will loosen up a bit too once they have in the dressing. But y'all, I gotta be honest, I am not a huge cucumber fan, and I'm not a huge fan of cucumbers in salads. I don't know, they almost taste like more melon to me, but like I would be more fine with a watermelon in a salad than I would cucumber. Like, I don't know, it just always hits super weird. Like it always feels like it's fruitier than it when it needs to be in a savory situation, and then the other way around too. And so I'm never a fan of cucumbers in salads. But this salad is definitely an exception. Like a lot of times whenever I decide to cook something Asian for dinner and we have cucumbers, I'll do some sort of rice vinegar soy sauce and then make some sort of salad out of that. Depending on what I'm making too, like if I'm doing, like for this one, I'm going to be doing garlic and ginger in here. If I was doing something a bit more Thai, like maybe I would throw in some peanuts in here. I might throw in cilantro in here. Ooh, I'm going to throw in cilantro in here. So yeah, I guess it just depends on what your meal is that you would add it to, but okay. Okay, I think that one's my best one. Unfortunately. It's okay. I mean, they're going to taste good. All right. All right. But of course, if you don't want to chop them this way, you can always just like chop them in slices. No one's stopping you from. Oh, that one's my best one. I think I got a little scared, and if I went slightly deeper, it would be way more accordion. That's fun. That's fun. So I got my cucumbers, and I did not put salt in my station. We're going to do about 2 tablespoons. Now, if you're in a hurry and skip this step, it's not the biggest deal in the world. But I mean, I'm typically making this when I got other stuff I'm making as well. So it's like, why not? Like I may as well have these soaking while I'm busy doing other stuff. Oh yeah, just getting all them nooks and crannies. All my like half ones. It's okay. Like I love the spiral and I think it's so much fun, but I honestly don't do it that often just because it is kind of awkward to eat. Like slices feel less awkward, but this is fun. And then I'm going to let this just hang out. And then whenever I'm ready to come make my salad, we're going to rinse this off in cool water. I'm going to rinse. Tell me all the way. I did most of my chopping already, and by I did most of my chopping already, I mean I shoved a bunch of stuff in the food processor already. I figured that would be way easier. And depending on your mood, I feel like this is one of those things that a food processor to chop up all your veggies just kind of makes sense, especially since like our dices are fine to be confetti. Like you're not expecting any sort of texture or anything like that. Now, if you're dicing a vegetable and you want it to be a good enough size so you enjoy the texture of it, yeah, that's not a food processor job, but it's definitely a food processor shoving all the stuff in there. But I didn't shove the green onions in there because all right, let's go ahead and shove that in there. And then the other thing I didn't chop was my cilantro. And that is because my husband just came home with this like right before and just washed it. Y'all, I go through so much cilantro. It's ridiculous. And I feel like cilantro doesn't keep in my vases as well as my other herbs do. Like putting it in a cup of water doesn't help as much as it does with others. Though I do notice a huge difference when I put a produce bag on top and then put it in the fridge. The produce bag does extend some time, but like I'm gonna have to put this in a jar. Yeah, whenever I'm storing these for in the fridge to get my longest use out of them, I'll like get all the leaves that are on the bottom. Because, you know, if I just get cilantro, it means I'm going to be using it. So any of the leaves down here, my husband knows to get cilantro with the longer stems. But the stems have the exact same flavor as the leaves. It's just not often used with the leaves. So this is a perfect recipe, or this kind of stuff is perfect for if you have a bunch of cilantro stems. Because like it tastes the same and we're just doing like a micro dice here. But I'll do a bit of both. But yeah, as I store those in the fridge, we're going to chop off the little ends. You know, it's just like getting a, you know, vase of flowers or getting a bouquet of flowers. You got to set it up. I typically do a smaller one, but yeah, produce bag. Keep those. I actually, the extra produce bags that I have, I will throw them where I throw in my extra kitchen bags for that reason. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate y'all. Y'all, if you're just scrolling through here, welcome to Food Talk TV. We do live cooking content every single day. This is my show that's on Thursday. So if you follow us, you get to see that content. If you missed this live or want to rewatch it or anything like that, it will be on the YouTube. And be sure you're following us on other places because we're everywhere. Hi there. I am perfecting my Korean meatball recipe. And then I'm also going to be doing a cucumber salad, an Asian cucumber salad. I just chopped up the cucumbers to where they're all like, you know, spirally. But slices work too. Oftentimes with the cucumber salads, that's a mandolin job. But I wouldn't get like a regular cucumber for those just because the skin is really thick and then you also have the seeds. And that just doesn't feel ideal for me to make a quick salad, but then I also have to like peel and scoop. Oh yeah. And okay, so if you are one of those people though that can't do cilantro because you have some of the like soap taste buds, if that's you, I was reading somewhere, I can't say this for sure because I am not a cilantro soapy taste bud person. I am not. But if you are, what I was reading is that the chemical that makes it taste like soap in your taste buds, it basically changes to a different chemical when it's cooked. So you probably have less of a problem with cooked cilantro. I feel like that's a lot more cilantro than I used last time, but about a quarter cup. And then I have a small onion. Let's see if I can. There we go. Yeah, you can see what's going on in there. Yeah. And then I already ran this through my food processor. Then I also have a bunch of cloves of garlic here. I believe 3 or 4 was in here. And then a small onion, just confettied in the processor. Along with 8 baby carrots. I think my recipe says 6, but I did some Googling to try to figure out whether it was 6 or 8. Not sure how I came up with that number. But measuring baby carrots by cups is weird. So let's see, the onion, the garlic, the carrot, cilantro, green onion, and pork. And then I also have my ginger that I processed too. I just haven't moved it to a different container there. I try and do this with my ginger and garlic when I buy that and just like process it myself and then freeze it. Just so like I always have a go-to for that. And like, honestly, ever since I started doing that, I use so much more garlic and ginger in my cooking just because I'm not like I'm not actively thinking about how much I have to chop in order for it to be in my dish. This full recipe is already up on Food Talk TV. So our website, a lot of times it's you get the recipe later because, you know, that's just what we created on the show and then we write the recipe for you. But because I've been working on this, I already have it up ready to go. I'm so proud of myself there. See, making sure most of my ingredients are in here. About a teaspoon of fish sauce. There's like 25 ingredients in here, guys. Like, this is a lot. About a tablespoon of soy. Little half teaspoon toasted sesame oil. And because this is a minced meat dish, just about every Asian recipe I see, especially Korean recipes, pretty much every Korean recipe I've seen that uses ground meat of some sort, I see either cornstarch or baking soda in there. There's some baking soda and then a little bit cornstarch. This tenderizes the meat. The baking soda changes the pH level of it, and so it will get more tender in there. Not a step I would want to do if I was prepping these meatballs ahead of time. And then the cornstarch will make it crispy. Oh, you like the new setup? Thank you. I kind of moved around stuff today, and I'm still kind of figuring out what my jam is over here, but I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I feel like I have a second kitchen in my kitchen. Just it's summertime and like my kitchen area over here was over by the stovetop. The lighting was terrible and then I was always super hot in the middle of my shows, and I'm so glad that I was able to switch this around because I have this induction stovetop here that we will be cooking the meatballs on there. So I'm basically a kitchen on the go. Velveting. Thank you. Oh, yeah. The panade. That's what I was doing. I knew I was forgetting a very vital step here. So when you're making meatballs, a lot of times people will want to do a breadcrumb and then they will soak it in milk or another liquid. And the breadcrumbs will absorb it and it will hold on to the moisture. So as the meatballs are cooking, it will keep the meatball moist. That's the idea here. So the act of soaking flour with a liquid, making it into a paste, and then adding it to the meatball, that's the French technique called a panade. I'm doing a panade with almond flour, and before I made this recipe on Saturday, I had never done almond flour for my panade. I didn't think it was gonna I was like, it might like change the texture. It might. I was concerned, but I did it anyway. But I don't think this is what gave it the slightly nutty flavor. I think it's the sesame oil that I did, but I feel like this just like gave like a little flavor oomph. So, doing a 1/4 cup. And then you can use stock, water, beer, wine, whatever. I actually don't think anything alcoholic would work out as a panade just because the alcohol would evaporate. It wouldn't really be the moist maker that it should be. Because that is the thing alcohol does not do, is hydrate. I like 2 or 3. I should have done this at the beginning. I would have liked to have done this before I started adding stuff to there, just so it had like time to soak. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Okay. Have that, and then I also have my egg. I like adding an egg to my meatballs. I just think that it needs any sort of binder it can get. And now I can already tell you, I'm forgetting ingredients. I just got to read my ingredients because I swear, I'm not joking. There's like 25 ingredients in here. And I wrote the recipe and I'm still like, what did I do? Oftentimes I just crack the egg into the meat. But when you're making meatballs and mixing everything together, the least amount of mixes you can do is the way to go here. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate you. I don't know how I almost forgot the gochujang. I mean, this is a Korean meatball. Or Korean-inspired meatball. When I think of Korean food, this is a brand new one. I'm excited. When I think of Korean food, gochujang definitely comes up first in my mind. It's a chili paste that's fermented. Oh, yes. So it's like a sweet, spicy kind of situation. Very much so a paste. I love gochujang so much. I use this in all sorts of cooking. I don't limit it to my Korean cooking. Can't believe I almost forgot to add that. I'm gonna make sure I didn't forget any of my exhausting list of ingredients. So, pound of pork, 3 green onions, a 1/4 cup cilantro. Ooh, I also did this last time. I didn't get a huge black garlic flavor from it, but I'm still going to do it again just because I can. And y'all, if you look at my recipe and you decide you want to make this, but you're missing like 1 or 2 ingredients, you'll be fine. Like, this is just me being excessive. Like, if you don't put a black garlic clove in here, you're going to be fine. But black garlic, that's going to be an aged garlic. Some people will call it a fermented garlic, but that's not technically what this is. It's just been aged, so it's just like an earthy, umami kind of, not as harsh as the raw, just like aged. That's the best way I can describe it, like aged in the best way. It's a good old fart. I thought I was going to have all my ingredients way more quickly, and I thought that's how I justified doing the same recipe a second show, because I'm like, yeah, I have all my ingredients in a row. I got everything ready to go, so that's why I can justify making it a second show, but I'm still kind of doing the same thing I did last time. But I just added the mustard powder. This is a Korean mustard powder. I got this at my international market. This is going to be like hotter than Coleman's. It's a brown mustard seed that's from Asia that is like horseradishy heat, kind of hot. But I love adding that stuff to like my meats for spice rubs and stuff. And then this is shiitake mushroom powder. And this has been another one of my favorite things, because you can get dried shiitakes at the international market. And I don't know why I haven't been doing this more often. Oftentimes I'll rehydrate them for things that, like a soup or a stew, where the texture, where it's minced and the texture isn't such a big deal. But yeah, I haven't been using it as a powder enough, as a seasoning powder. I have not been doing that. So I ground some myself and mushroom powder. So let's see. So 1/4 cup cilantro, black garlic, 8 baby carrots, 1 white onion. I got the ginger paste in here. We got the almond flour and the stock panade. We got an egg, cornstarch, baking soda, salt and pepper, though I feel like the salt might not even be, I salt everything and I salt everything in layers. I just almost feel like the salt almost isn't important here since I added so many salty things to it. Salt and pepper, got the Korean mustard powder, soy sauce, toasted sesame, fish sauce, and egg. All right, cool. Yay, it's time. Let's see. Oh yeah. Let's see if I can get it to where y'all can actually see what's in my bowl and not just me talking about what's in my bowl. I'm still working on my new setup, so we'll get the kinks out. Okay. Ah! That's too much. That's too much. Okay. I don't know, y'all. I'm going to have to play with this on my own time and not y'all's time with me. But it's okay. And we are keeping this mix to a very, very minimum. We do not want to mix very much. I would rather this thing just be very inconsistent than I would rather it be overmixed. But because we've been keeping everything cold and we freshly ground it, oh yeah. I'm going to grind this black garlic clove first. Because that black garlic clove is very much so like a paste when you squeeze it, but it's not like as soft as a paste as like the gochujang is. Let's add the egg and the panade. And I remember when I made these on Saturday, and I'm just like, these meatballs are way too dang, like, wet. I completely messed up on this show. I can't let anyone see me cooking these meatballs. You know, they're the worst. You know, as I was making them, that's what I was thinking. But, you know, show must go on. But y'all, and then I made these, and they were just the best thing ever. I think I added more stuff in these than I did the last time. There's definitely more stuff to be had. Now, if you don't trust yourself, I trust myself, but if you don't trust yourself, you can always just like go ahead and fry up one of these meatballs. See if you like the flavor, and then come back and adjust. Okay, I got distracted, and I think that was too much. My baby's on a level. But y'all, these smell amazing. They really do smell amazing. Like, I really just want to try it right now, but this is just raw pork. You know, I'm curious. I was kind of looking up ways to do meatballs like quicker, because I felt like that was something that took up a lot of my time, was the actual act of rolling the meatballs. We'll see if this random man's Reddit advice is actually going to be useful, or if I just dirtied up another dish for no reason. Basically, the idea is that you just kind of go as thick as you want them to be. For me, I'm going for like an inch in diameter. For me, I always make my meatballs too big, and I just feel like they have a better flavor and they have a better juiciness and texture when they're smaller. So I'm going to try and keep them about an inch. And then I'm going to throw this. Then they made like little, well, they did that with a knife. All right, random man on Reddit. Let's see. And that's just guesstimate. I can. But I'm just going to throw my balls back into my cold ordeal I have going on. If you're extra particular, you can just, you know, get a kitchen scale. Okay, yeah, I like this hack already. I like it. I like it. I was kind of thinking something almost like the line of like a piping bag. That's kind of the route I was thinking when I was Googling, hey, is there a quicker way to go about this? Mostly everyone else in the threads where they're talking about like, hey, anyone have any ideas of how I can make this go by quicker? Like most of the comments were from grannies being like, get your grandkids to help. It's like, we don't all have grandkids to help. We don't all have grandkids. Though, however, y'all, I don't know if you knew this about me, but currently there are 2 humans in existence. There are 2 humans in existence to where I am a great aunt. And I just found out I'm going to be a great aunt to a 3rd. Isn't that crazy? I am a great auntie. So, whenever people make fun of my age or anything like that, it's like y'all have no idea. Okay, I need to go back on Reddit and thank this guy. I like this. So I don't think this bowl is the best way of storing it. I just really liked it because I was just doing it that way for the cold. Because remember, we're keeping these cold. It's not as big of a deal for these to like come to temperature now, just because like the meat is already ground, the fat is already distributed, like we're fine. But, you know. If I'm told a rule, I like following it. Oh yeah, I was definitely chunky with my cilantro here. Yo, this is huge fan of rolling meatballs this way. Like when I made these on my Saturday live, like I did not roll nearly as many of these. I was just like, okay, these are what I can do for live and go on. Hi there, I got some Korean meatballs over here. And I followed a random person's advice on Reddit where they like put the meat in a pan and then like drew lines to like laid it out as thick as they wanted the meatballs and then drew the lines out. So that way you just scoop from there and form your balls. And reading it on the website, it did not seem like it would actually be this helpful. And it really is this helpful. Although, of course, some are going to be too small, but very great guideline. Oh, yeah. Y'all, if you do want to see this recipe, it's already up on foodtalktv.com. The first one. I also accidentally discovered a tip when I was making these on Saturday. That is too large of a cilantro leaf. Whew. Of all the things I used my food processor for, I should have used them for the cilantro. Yep, foodtalktv.com. And if you're not giving me a follow on my page, you should give me a follow. You could easily find me just by searching Mustard Queen on this app, but my handle is Happy Mustarding. If you're looking for me over on the IG, I'm at Ketchup is Garbage. So, I had kind of started to try. I hate watching myself cook or do anything. Like, the thought of it, absolutely hate it. And so, in order to get this recipe that I just kind of winged on Saturday, I had to watch myself do it. And, anything for the recipe, anything for the recipe. That's fine. I did that today. Y'all are welcome. But then it was an interview for a podcast that I did, and they released it today, and I didn't know they released it, but they called me and told me that like they were already getting like people actually calling them and like telling them that I just had the best personality and they thought I did a really great job. And that just really made me feel really good because I was so nervous and I did not think, I knew they were going to have to do a lot of editing, and I'm sure they did, but they did a really great job at editing. I'm still kind of rewatching myself there, but twice today I was forced to watch myself. Oh yeah, I accidentally what I was saying earlier and forgot what I was saying. I accidentally discovered like a cool tip for rolling these too by like getting a set of tongs in between there and just like rolling it through there. Oh yeah. Whew, I'm going to wash my hands. Thank you. Thank you for putting my handle there. Yep, that's me. Happy mustarding. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, you know what? We're just going to tilt me over here. Still haven't figured out the magic angle that's going to be what's going on over here, but it's okay. But first, I'm going to make my sauce. So I don't know why I showed y'all over here because I'm going to saute the garlic in here. I like how I switch up my station because at my old station, I kept having to move my camera around. And then today, I've been doing a lot of camera moving around. All right. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that is not. We'll get there, guys. We're going to get there, guys. I think I just need a larger cord for this so I can move this over here. But let's... Ooh, I just lost like 20 people. Sorry, friends. All right, let's start this on medium-high heat. Let's do it. And this is going to be just like a really, really quick, easy sauce. We're not spending a whole lot of time. I did kind of make this a little bit more like intricate than my sauce I did on Saturday, but I also didn't cook it on the stovetop. The idea here is that it's very similar. This is basically my Korean barbecue sauce. It's going to be very similar. Gosh, I hate this. I'm sorry, y'all. So this is going to be very similar to like a regular tomato-based American barbecue sauce, except instead of using any sort of tomato for ingredients, we're going to be using gochujang. And I got plenty of garlic. Thought about making this sauce as well with the black garlic, but I'm also running low on black garlic, and that's like one of my favorite things. And like, oh yeah, I only got the 1 clove of black garlic left, and like this container at the international market costs $16. I'm gonna pause that because I don't have any of my other stuff ready. Yeah, if I had things measured already, this would have been nice, but it's okay. I just wanted the heat just to give the garlic a little oomph. It didn't really need the heat otherwise, because it's not like the sauce really needs to reduce. About a tablespoon of brown sugar. So very similar to an American-based or American tomato-based barbecue sauce. We have typically the garbage condiment, right, that people will use, but then we add other things to add sweet, add heat, add acid in order to balance that out. So similar to what we're doing here, except gochujang. I'm obsessed. Love gochujang so much. And then that's also going to be getting rice vinegar, soy sauce, and fish sauce. About like a tablespoon-ish of each. Or the fish sauce, I'm only going to do like a teaspoon. There's not a whole lot of situations I can think of where I use soy sauce, but I don't use fish sauce. That might just be a me thing. And then, of course, anytime I make a barbecue sauce, it's really hard for me to write a recipe because I'm always just like throwing things in here to balance the sweet, the heat, the acid, the sweet. Heat, sweet, acid. Heat, sweet, acid, then bitter, and umami. Yeah. Oh, I am obsessed with the induction. Absolutely obsessed with this. Like, I made the joke to my husband about just putting this on top of my stovetop. Because I'm very self-taught with like my husband also teaching me how to cook. This is like about a decade ago I started actually cooking, but it's only been in this house that I've been cooking, and so it's just been on that one stovetop. And that stove, I am thinking that stove has done me dirty so many times, but it was the only stove I've ever cooked on. It's the only one I've known. So like just the fact that I turn it on and then immediately heats. Wow. Oh yeah. Let's see how this tastes. All right. I have the heat turned off of this now. I don't really need to keep this warm, though I am thinking I'm going to need more sauce. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of everything. With all the meatballs I have, I need plenty of sauce. Like, I would be so upset if I had too many meatballs and not enough sauce. So soy sauce, fish sauce, rice vinegar, little sesame oil, gochujang, brown sugar. Perfect Korean barbecue sauce. All you need. I'm going to put this on. Another thing I love about this induction top is that my kitchen is just not hot. I'm obsessed. If you are asking me to tell you not to buy one of these, I'm the wrong person. I'm always the wrong person to like tell you that you don't actually need a kitchen tool, because I love all the kitchen tools. But no, this one is just a huge fan. But I also have never dealt with other inductions, so I don't know how much better mine is, or like compared to other brands. Nothing's free. Oh, I'm gonna add a little bit of my ginger liquid too. Just a little. All right, I can keep that low. And I think I'm gonna go back to the other setup. Nope, we're gonna stay here. Oh yeah, you can already tell that. That's awesome. And you know me, Kaz, I don't like to hide the fact that I struggle. I don't keep it a secret that I struggle. So if you're not seeing me struggle, it means I'm not struggling. All right. Thanks, free. Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't hit the start. I oftentimes will like hit heat high, but won't hit start on here. Y'all, this is my little, it feels like way too technological for me, but it's not, and it's amazing. But I just love actually being able to see the numbers on there. Like, I really do think this is genuinely going to be improving my cooking abilities. Just because I can get things heated at a more exact time, and then also I can see the exact temperature. Hi, Hi there. I have made some Korean meatballs. Recipe will be up on the Food Talk TV website. There's like 25 ingredients in here. It's ground pork. There's gochujang, onion, carrot, garlic. I also put in some black garlic, gochujang, fish sauce, soy sauce, garlic, ginger, sesame oil, cilantro. I know I'm missing stuff, but I have the full recipe up there. And I ground my own meat too with that. I know that's not like a thing that everyone can do for a weeknight meal, is to just grind their own meat. But if you ever have the time and the energy, I think it's really good. That, and if you buy one of those large pork butts, you can get them at a really great deal. And then just cutting that off into ground meat, man, you can save so much money. If you do a lot of ground pork and you made your ground pork that way, whew. And I use my KitchenAid mixer, but, I've also ground my own meat with the food processor, and that was fine. Not my most consistent work, but it works. All right. Okay, I think I might glove my hand back up to put them in here so they're smooth. So I'll put a couple first in here, and then I'm going to finish up with my cucumber salad because, once again, I am taking up way too much time on this page. Oh, yeah. There's my pork meatball. I'm trying to not get lumpy, guys, because I'm really good at just throwing them in there and making them lumpy. About 4 or 5 minutes on each side. Now, there is a thing with meatballs that a lot of people will do. A lot of people will do, they'll dredge in flour or cornstarch. And I sampled a couple of those last time. Now, the only reason why I would ever recommend dredging a meatball with flour or cornstarch would be as if you can't get them to stay together, right? So if you are making some meatballs and as you're making them, they're falling apart, I would recommend dredging them in the flour or cornstarch, and it will create a crust on the outside because it will all sear together and it will create a crust on there. And so everything will hold together. Now, the thing is, the reason why I'm not doing that, unless my meatballs, absolutely need them, is because I want the browning effect to brown my meat. I want my meat to be the thing that's brown. Because if I'm dredging this in flour or cornstarch, then it's the flour or cornstarch that got browned. And so the Maillard reaction that happens with the cooking of the meats, we lose it. Don't let me down. I was just thinking, it's man, I wonder if there's an automated thing for this, but then that's the last thing anyone needs, is just something to roll up meatballs. Unless, of course, rolling meatballs is your life, then yes, absolutely get all the tools and equipment to roll meatballs. But now, I've made these twice in 1 week, but I also do cooking content on Food Talk TV. Thursday, 7 Central every single week. That's when my show is. All right. Would someone set a 3-minute timer? Oh, I should also grab my thermometer. I like pulling my meatballs with ground pork. Regular pork steaks, they can go for up to 145 when it's ground meat. The FDA does recommend cooking it all the way to I believe it's 165. FDA says 165, but I always pull right at 160, just so the carryover cooking will get there. Oh, yeah. Oh yes, and in these meatballs too, when I was talking about the ingredients, I did the almond flour with the stock soaked together and then added that to the meat mixture. So I think I'm gonna like sit and stare at these until they're ready to turn, and then we'll start working on the salad is super easy. Like, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse my cucumbers, and y'all watch my meatballs, okay? Will y'all watch these for me? There we go. If you could watch those balls for me, I gotta rinse my cucumbers. I wanted to point out how much water was in the bottom of these. Like, it's a good portion of water. Oh, yeah. Whew. Okay. These got plenty brown. I'm going to reduce my heat a little. I was just talking about how consistently this cooked my stuff. Ah, there we go. Okay, that's upsetting. I'm upset. It's like almost the exact same recipe I made on Saturday. What's going on? Okay. I think just that one didn't get a good sear at the bottom. Oh yeah, that's going in the refuse pile. That's disappointing. I wonder if I add just a little bit more. Okay, this is not how my recipe was working down Friday. The thing I can think that it probably is, I was not nearly as resilient about keeping everything super, super cold this time as I was yesterday. So that's what we're going to do with this next batch. That's what we're going to do, guys. That's what we're going to do. We are going to... Whew. And let's be real, I can't call this the exact same recipe as last time because did y'all see me measure anything? Okay. So yeah, these didn't really want to stay together, and that's okay. It happens sometimes with meatballs, you know, you got to have the right amount of ingredients, and it's just such a balance. I think the cold is where I messed up. Ooh, or it could be like the pancake theory, where the first thing that you cook in the pan. Okay, yeah, no. And then I switched to medium, and that was fine. Yeah, I think that was a user error that first time. Okay. Hey, Ryan. Okay, I'm temping them. And then we'll be fine with those in a few minutes. But here are my cucumbers that I just rinsed. They were soaking in salt. I covered them in about 2 tablespoons of salt. And then I let them sit, let the water drain out, and then I rinsed that out to get some of that water content out. And I used up all my garlic I had prepped for the show, so I'm going for my freezer stash. Seriously, y'all, ever since I started prepping my garlic this way, it's like my #1 tip. It thaws super quickly. All right. I'm going to mix this with where did my sauce recipe go? Okay. So with this, I'm starting out with the garlic, and then I was so confused when I was reading my recipe because I thought it said gochujang, and I'm like, I'm not putting gochujang in my cucumber salad, but no, it's gochujaru. This is the pepper flake. This is the type of pepper that is used in gochujang. So gochujang sauce, gochujaru is the pepper flake. So 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, whatever your heat preference is. You can use red pepper flake as well, or you can just omit it completely. I mean, I always say like things are optional when you're doing the recipes, but it's like, let's be real, everything's optional. All right. So, not too much of a sear over there, real big sear over there. But we are going to play this off like it's a pancake law. Now I'm just throwing them in the sauce to toss. When I didn't cook that sauce on the stovetop, I just had it in a bowl and would just throw the meatballs into a bowl and would just toss them as I went. Ooh, I said, ooh. Oh, yeah. So, I did have some of my meatballs that I was still holding, like, okay, there were some that I kept in this pan, which wasn't over ice, and then the ones that I kept over ice over here are these. So I think that was the reason why those meatballs fell apart. Or at least that's what I'm going with. We'll see on the next go around, but I'm going to get let some oil get hot in there. Okay, so for our cucumber salad, we got to work on the cucumber salad because, hey, if I burn all the meatballs, at least I'll have salad, right? Gochujaru at about 1 tablespoon-ish of soy. So it would be like 1 tablespoon of like most of the stuff, but 2 tablespoons of the rice vinegar. And then brown sugar, tablespoon of that. I added a bunch of gochujang to mine, so they are, yes. But of course, like, they can always be made with however much or little you want. Soy sauce, rice vinegar, gochujaru, which is the Korean chili flake, sesame oil. I also have some of my ginger over here. I kind of switch around these salads, like my cucumber salad, depending on like what kind of Asian food I'm having. Like for Thai, you know, I have done where I threw peanut butter in my cucumber salad, and that was really good. Let's see. Sriracha gets thrown into my mix a lot. I've never done like actual gochujang in this, but the gochujaru, not the same thing, but you know. Oh yeah. I don't want to get my cutting things back out, but Here, I'll get my onion scissors. Y'all, I gotta admit, like when I first started cooking, like I did not use scissors for like anything because I used to be friends with a girl who her and her family would call things kitchen scissors, but would then like use them for like literally everything. And like, I don't think it ever got washed and it just like always freaked me out. So like, for the longest time, I just never used scissors in the kitchen. But yeah, no. When you have your own home and wash your own dishes, it's fine. All right. My oil's hot enough for... Sorry I keep cutting in and out of tasks, but welcome to my brain. Welcome to ADHD. Yeah, just getting like one of the thing I didn't like there. Okay. All right. Let's see if this round will be better. Sorry, typically I'm completely okay with the stuff at the bottom, but like it just felt too brown. It's fine. And since this is an induction thing, it's yelling at me. Of course, when I did this recipe without trying to be specific and exact about it, it went perfectly. And now I'm trying to get an exact recipe for y'all. I hear you, Mr. Induction Top. I'm so sorry. I'm coming. Okay, good. Because with these induction tops, it only works on dishware that is magnetic because it connects magnetically. And so that's why it's yelling at me if I don't have something on there because it doesn't know what to do. All right. Dang, guys. I thought that because I did this so freaking well on Saturday, this would be like the easiest, breeziest thing. All right. There we go. I'm going to try and get them all on here super quick too. Just look how beautiful those are. Okay, I can already tell. So definitely keep your meatballs cold as you are working, because my meatballs that I had in the bowl, that's in a bowl with ice, those meatballs are, yeah, I can tell a huge difference. That first round I had in a tray and I wasn't keeping them as religiously cold, and they just really fell apart. And I was really concerned for my recipe, but nope, it's not the recipe. It was the recipe baker. Okay, that is really, yay! Wow, I can't imagine how many people just pieced out when the last ones of these just didn't turn out the way I was wanting. How many pieced out and it's like, oh, this lady can't cook. I can, just sometimes I forget stuff. Okay. So I got soy sauce, fish sauce, ginger, garlic, sesame oil, rice vinegar. And then I also put gochujang in here, and that's going to be the Korean chili flake that's used in gochujang. I didn't want to get my kitchen cutting stuff back out, but I have radishes, and I actually don't typically put radishes in here, but my husband suggested it, and it just sounded like a, you know, fun idea. Oh, yeah. I love radishes. Radishes are in the same plant family as mustard is. And that same like peppery bite that is in radishes is the same defense mechanism that makes mustard taste horseradishy. I like how I did the whole, for my meatballs, I processed them in my food processor to save me time. And right now, I'm feeling like it's saving me time by not pulling out my mandolin, though my mandolin is literally right here. I'm just like super smart like that, you know? Super logical. I'm waiting for her for so long. Yeah. I wasn't expecting to be back shopping, but this is what cooking with me is like. The ADHD kitchen. And I don't even always put onions in here. Sometimes I'll do shallots. Sometimes I just leave it as garlic. Just whatever you want, really. But for an Asian cucumber salad, typically, like, really all you need is the soy sauce, rice vinegar, and aromatics. There's so many different varieties of how to go about that. I could already tell I need more soy. Maybe I just need to start measuring my own recipes. I think I'm just a terrible eyeballer sometimes. I'm waiting for her. Okay. That's weird. My induction cooker kind of took a temporary pause, but it's okay because I forgot about it too. Let's see how this tastes. I want some more. The acidity is really nice in there. Basically, it's like 2 parts rice vinegar, 1 part soy sauce, and pretty much 1 part most of the other stuff. Yes. Ah, that's perfect. And I have half an onion to go with my lunch tomorrow, whatever that is. Let me go. Oh, yeah. Of course, this can be served immediately, but it tastes better after it sits for a bit. So this is one of those salads that, like, you make today, but you could be eating on it for 4 days. I need more of those recipes in my repertoire. Just those that you can make one day, but it's just as delicious that one day as it is all the other days. Because I have a lot of energy some days, and then other days, 0. It is 0. But during the summertime, I will do a lot of pasta salads, though. That's kind of my go-to. But yes. Ah! See? I'm so much fun. Forever. Oh, I almost just like swept. Get my garbage bowl. That felt like a lot of liquid, but I actually don't think that was a lot of liquid that I lost. Might have actually been beneficial for me to just throw out most of my liquid in there. Here, I'll try out one of these guys since that was one of my shorter, not so great cuts. Yeah, of course, like right when I need to be actively doing something, that's when I hit the lock screen on my phone. But y'all, okay, that's seriously what it was. It was because I was not keeping my balls cold. Keep your balls cold. Oh yeah, no, I was really worried about my recipe, y'all. This is such a relief. This is definitely a temperature ordeal. So I will make sure that this recipe is going to be on Food Talk TV. It is already on Food Talk TV. I will include the part where it needs to be cold. Ryan, would you like to try some of this cucumber salad? I thought my husband was on the couch ignoring me. He's not on the couch. Oh, I was just seeing if you wanted to try some of this cucumber salad for the camera. You can just like bake all your meatballs if you want, but I just really like that like crispy crust. So we're at like 145 here. We're like almost done with these guys. Of course, like not all of my spirally cuts are perfect. Some of them are like shorter spirally cuts, but like some of them I did.
Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, we got to save like that long spiral for the photo. Yeah. How about this mangled piece?
Delicious.
That's it? Doesn't need anything?
Perfect.
Yay! Hold yourself asleep. All right, finishing up these balls. Recipes on Food Talk TV. It's ground pork. There's onion, garlic, black garlic, carrot. Oh yeah, that's not as done as I thought it was. You can also do a sear on these and then just like shove them all in your sauce. Which I might actually just do. Because I got my Korean barbecue sauce right here. Y'all, if you do not have a ceiling fan in your kitchen, woo, it is so awesome. I went without a ceiling fan in my kitchen for like a decade and I just got one. And y'all, my life is just so awesome with it. Woo. Here, I'm going to get a plate and I'll show y'all on the plate because this is a new setup of mine. So I am so sorry. I'm getting used to it. Y'all, thank you for hanging out. be just fine. Okay, I think I liked the method where I just would put them in a bowl and then would ladle some sauce over it and then just like toss them like a madman. But some sesame seeds for garnish, of course. And here we go. If you are coming back and you were here earlier, my first round of these did not go over so well. Now, these meatballs have a lot of stuff in there, like a lot of stuff on there, but it didn't work out because I did not keep my meat cold throughout the entire process. So in between batches, or if you have time as you roll the meatballs and then go, I would store them in the fridge. But I'm going to give one a sample, and I don't feel like going to grab a fork. So sticky fingers it is. My hands are so sticky. But as disappointing as it was the first round of those meatballs weren't phenomenal like they were on Saturday, they're still so delicious. So delicious. So delicious, y'all. And then cucumber salad. And then I also have some white rice we'll be serving. But yeah. Thank y'all so much for coming in and hanging out with me. So I am going to finish making all these meatballs, and I'm going to let my husband eat some of this cucumber salad because it's literally one of his favorite things. But all right. Thank y'all for joining me. I will see y'all next Thursday, 7 Central on Food Talk TV for cutting the mustard. Happy mustarding.